All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, potentially good evening to everybody, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle live session. I am your host, Ryan Carthage. My awesome partners, Benny and Casey, will be joining us shortly. I'm excited about this morning. It's been a good start to the week. And yeah, I'm excited to be with you guys this morning. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for courtesy of all members on the line, if you could ensure that your mics are muted unless you're actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. And just a quick disclaimer. Trading does have risk. We're not CTAs, commodity trading advisors. So the information that we give is for educational purposes only. We can teach about the technicals, we can teach about the fundamentals, we can teach about everything all the way down to the trades that we like to take. But at the end of the day, it is up to you to place that trade, to push that button. So always, always, always remember to trade responsibly and never risk any money that you cannot afford to lose. All right. So real quick, we got a lot of new folks on the call today. So I just want to kind of level set, and then we'll look at Forex Factory, trading economics, and then we'll take a look at some charts. Please ensure that you guys are going through the training, right? The training in your back office is going to give you the foundation for everything that we talk about on these live calls. Okay, it's going to break everything down into its individual pieces on the live calls Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Saturdays. You're going to get the full picture, right? You're going to get the full picture: support, resistance, trend lines, Fibonacci, right? And we'll talk fundamentals as well. So ensure that you go through every piece of that training. It's extremely important for you to truly understand the methodology that we teach and why we teach the way that we do. Okay. Our sole purpose is to help each person become a consistently profitable trader, right? But that training is vital to that success. Okay. The training is vital to the success of each individual, right? So it's up to you to go through that training and watch each of those videos multiple times if you need to really understand the concepts. And then if you have questions, bring those questions to these live sessions and we can show it to you in live action, and then go back and watch the video again, right? And as you're going through those videos, we have homework assignments. Do the homework. The only way you're going to retain the information is if you implement it, right? You're never going to be perfect. You're not going to get it right the first, second, third, fourth, 10th, 15th, 30th, maybe even 100th time. But the work that you put in, things will start to click, right? So it's great to have a demo account. Get your demo account so that you can practice, okay? Practice makes progress, and practice makes permanent, right? Doesn't make perfect, but it makes permanent, and it makes progress, right? The goal is to be 1% better every day. So if you're putting in the work, you're putting in the time, you're getting the reps in, you will be able to see that progress. Okay. If you guys have questions for Casey, Benny, or myself, we ask that you guys send us an email at theforextraderoom@gmail.com. That way, that ensures that Benny, Casey, and I all see it, and we can get you a quicker response than you guys sending us individual inbox messages on Facebook. Okay. So please send us an email if you have individual questions that may not pertain to the live sessions or the training. For the Telegram group for the new folks, if you haven't filled out the form that was sent to your email, check your spam. An email was sent to you. Once you fill out that form, you'll get a follow-up email giving you instructions on how to get into the Telegram group. If you have any issues with that, please send us an email and we will get back to you and make sure that we get you access. Okay. that's all I got. That's all I got on that. All right. So if you guys have any pairs that you want me to take a look at, drop those in the chat for me as I switch over to my other screen, and we can take a look at those pairs for you as well. Okay. So go ahead and drop those pairs in the chat if you have any that you want me to take a look at. All right. Euro Swiss, Euro JPY. Aussie CAD. Dollar Swiss. Euro dollar. Pound dollar. All right. Deal. It's over here. All right. So let's pop it in. All right. So that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Drop me a 1 in the chat if you can see my screen. All right, cool. Dollar CAD. Okay, I think I got all of them. All right, cool deal. Cool deal. So real quick, just from a news announcement perspective, yesterday we had some. Okay, cool. Yesterday we had some news. The federal election for the Canadian dollar. Monetary policy minutes on the Aussie, and we had a consumer sentiment on the NZD. And this was an interesting one. Once this came out, you saw some pretty major impacts on the New Zealand dollar pairs, which we had marked up to do kind of what they did. So we'll potentially take a look at some of those today too. If I don't get to them today, Benny, you'll probably look at them this evening. But some good movement there, which we're looking forward to. Because New Zealand had been strong for quite some time. Today, it's pretty light. This evening, we have a monetary policy statement that's tentative for the yen. And then just some other light announcements. Tomorrow, we have a little bit more news, right? Bank of Japan press conference, crude oil inventories, FOMC economic projections, FOMC statement, federal funds rate, press conference, right? A lot of news for the dollar tomorrow. And then we go into the cycle for the euro, Swiss franc, pound on Thursday. Okay. And then a little more dollar news on Friday. So a big week for news. So we'll continue to watch and pay attention to where things are and play it accordingly. So from a trading economics, there's quite a bit happening around the world. Oil is attempting to recover. Okay. UK government borrowing falls less than forecast, right? European stocks extend gains. Okay. So these are some interesting things to take a look at. There's articles from around the world that give you some insight on the different countries and what's happening around the world and what could be impacting the charts. Okay. The world economy is expected to grow by 5.7% this year. Little change from the 5.8 expansion projections in May, supported by a vaccine rollout and a gradual resumption of economic activity. Still, the OECD said that the recovery remained uneven and that it was too early for the governments and central banks to withdraw exceptional support for their economies despite growing inflationary pressure. So this kind of is on the same line of what the Fed chair stated, in that things still aren't in a good space to pull back the support and look to raise interest rates just yet, right? So that's all in line with what the United States has been saying. So these would be some good reads. For new folks, we have a link in the additional resources section of the community under the topics. This is one of the links that's in there. Other links for fundamental information and knowledge are there. Definitely click through those, read those. It's really, really good insight. And then if there are any topics that you don't understand, go Google it. Hop into YouTube, look at additional videos, right? This is a process that our goal is to help you become consistently profitable. If there's additional information that you desire to know and seek, go get it, right? Own your success. Own your success, right? Own your success. So let's take a look at some charts. So I'll go through this list that you guys have for me because there's some good things on here. The first one that we had come through was the Euro Swiss franc. So we'll take a look at that really quickly. So from a longer term perspective, right? From a daily perspective, we had this long down move, okay? Had this long move to the downside, right? And this is the capital AB boundary, right? To the downside. And then we got this nice retracement, right? Nice retracement that came up, 6-to-1-8 retracement, broke through the two trend lines, right? Got us at least a TP2 off of that move to the upside, okay? So we're looking now, potentially, right? Because we got that 6-to-1-8 retracement. Now we're looking for price potentially to come down, and long-term, this is the matching D extension, okay? It's a long-term projection based off of this retracement, okay? Ebony says she fell down a rabbit hole this weekend, YouTubing Federal Reserve. Yes, it's an easy one to fall down and brings up more questions for you to ask. Right? It definitely brings up questions. So been in this down move. This is the down retracement zone that we've been in, right? Price has been pulling back, and we see we got this nice move back to the downside, right? So if we, let's remove these for 1 second. If we take a look at our sub-fibs, on this down retracement zone, just to track where price is, right? And give us more of a shorter term view of things, right? We got, that's not accurate. Well, it's not mapping it out. So the fib hasn't caught up just yet, but that's the AB boundary. We got a swing high here. So our new fib would look like this. Swing high right here, like so, right? So that's what the new fib on this down retracement zone would look like, right? And we see we got a shallow retracement. It's on the daily time frame, remember, right? We got a shallow retracement, and then we got price to push up to just shy of the 118 levels. This is our 80-20 play, right? So 80-20 play. And then look, bang, strong move to the downside, right? So we're trying to make our way down to at least the daily 38.2 level, but we know spatially, right? So this is our TP1 level here off the daily time frame, okay? But we know spatially that we are in a down retracement zone. So since that is the case, these would be short-term targets. And if price does continue down and break through these levels, right? If price continues down and breaks through these levels, okay, and takes out this A, we're already in this move to the downside, right? So, but this move is already in play from a higher time frame perspective, okay? Already making this move to the downside. So if we drop down to the 1 hour time frame, look at this from a smaller wave perspective, right? Smaller waves within that larger move. Okay. So this is our move to the upside. Let me clean out these levels. I'll keep those, clean this up so you can see it a little bit, and I'll put my levels back. Right. So that was the outer trend line there. So this is that long move to the upside that we had that new fib on, right, with the 80-20 play. Okay. So we got to push up. And this is our long-term trend line coming from the top of this move, okay? It's a long-term trend line. And we see when price got up to this trend line, couldn't really finish out strong, couldn't really break through it, and then came right back down to the bottom, all right? So we got a rejection off of the trend line, long-term trend line, and price is just flying to the downside, okay? Just flying to the downside. We have a few things happening around the world, right? China and United States are having conversations, and there's some uncertainty in regards to trade and some agreements. So there's some uncertainty when it comes to kind of the United States position, right? And it's causing investors potentially to be pulling their money out to protect their space, right? Protect their funds and put them in safe haven assets, right? So we see this move to the downside, strong move to the downside, right? Off of this, this was the capital fib, or this is the capital fib on the 1 hour time frame on that down retracement move, okay? So we're through 2 TP levels, right? I'll take this out. We're through 2 TP levels, right? 8-6 retracement, almost, right? But we broke this up trend line here, right? This is our outer trend line for this move. So what we could be potentially looking at is a retracement back to retest this trend line in this area of this previous area of consolidation, and then potentially continuation to the downside. Okay, so that's where we are right now. I am bearish on this, right? So my bias is selling, right? If your bias is bullish, right? If your bias is bullish, you can be looking at potential buy opportunities, right, to the upside. But overall, my bias is bearish, just off of our higher time frame analysis, right? AB boundary, 618 retracement, right? So I'm looking for price to continue to the downside. Okay. We will see what happens when we get to this monthly support level. But I am looking for price to continue to the downside. Okay. So another thing that we can do on this on this 1 hour time frame is we can bring that daily fib, since we got that 80-20 play right here, right? We can bring this daily fib down to our 1 hour time frame, like so. Right. So now we can track this move overall, like this. Okay. So now looking at that full move and where we are from a higher time frame perspective to the downside. So this is where we are on that. If you are not in this move, in this play, wait for a high price, wait for price to pull back, which we could potentially see, right? Wait for a high price to come back like that, and then give you a continuation to the downside. Okay. Could potentially come higher and retest this this daily resistance here, right? Which was support. But right, price struggled here, broke through, but then came right back down below. So we could get a pushback up here and potentially retest, and potentially, right, retest that trend line, right? Or just this level. So we'll look for that. If this is something that you would want to play, right? If you want to play this move, this would be, we call this a type 2 move, right? But if you drop your fib from the top of this to the bottom, right? This is your sub fib AB boundary, shallow retracement, 118 to 127 zone. We got stochastic in the buy zone. This is a really, really strong move to the downside. So just play it with caution if you want to play this counter trend move. Okay. So that means wait for your confirmations. Drop our trend line there. Drop our inner trend line like so. Okay. Wait for your swing low to form. I would want this D extension to be hit since it's not far from it. All right. Not far from that D extension. I would want that to get hit. 12 pips away. But that's what you could look for. Back to that 38.2 level. If you want to play this counter trend move, right? If you don't want to play that counter trend move, right, just sit on your hands. Just sit on your hands and wait for the higher price. Maybe. There we go. All right, sit on your hands and wait for the higher price. And then you can take that move back to the downside. But we did get a break of that outer trend line, right? This black line here, right? That's our outer trend line on this down retracement zone. We did get a break of the outer trend line. So that tells me the strong momentum to the downside, right? Looking for a pullback and then a potential continuation. Okay.
Hey, Ryan, I have a question.
Yeah, what's happening?
So that A, if we get a new fib, where would that A, because like that C, looks like that C is a part of that B. Which one? Like,
yeah,
I'm just trying to see, like, be that one.
Here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the B boundary there.
Mm-hmm.
So that new fib, if that D extension is hit, would be something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which would be kind of right in line with this this resistance level here, right? And just coming back and retesting this area of consolidation right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still get a little tricked up with that.
Yeah, that one's funny. That one's funny because that B boundary was so high. But yeah. So this would technically be the pullback of that move right here.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Okay. All right, so that's the Euro Swissy.
Hey,
Any
Coach.
questions on this? Was that Shala? What's up?
Good morning. Good morning. I got a question. So did that B boundary start with that gray candle or that large engulfing blue one?
Yeah, so that's the B boundary was completed at the close of this candle here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Right, because that was your second candle to the right. So actually, that's a good point. So this could be that high point here. This
I was
candle.
thinking the blue one was the C, the engulfing, the big.
Yeah, no, because remember, right? You got to have that B boundary formed before you get that pullback, right? And that B boundary technically didn't form until after the second candle to the right closed.
Okay. Which
is right here. So, but that brings up a good point. And we'll see. Officially, we'll see once the fib forms. But looking at it, this could be this wick right here. Could be the C if that D extension gets hit. Just looking at it, right? So that was the second candle that closed there. We had this push up. So technically that would be the highest point in between the AB boundary. Technically. So we'll see on that one. These are always tricky to see how they come out because we had this bullish move here and then the move back to the downside. So for new folks, right, your AB boundary forms when you have two candles to the right of the lowest point. Sometimes you'll have strong bullish moves that come up into the retracement zone and then price will push back down. So it gives a funny looking retracement and it causes a little confusion. Doesn't happen all the time. Doesn't happen. I haven't seen it frequently, but we have seen it a little bit. So we'll have to watch and see when that new fib forms, if this is the C or if this point is considered the C, right? Because the C is the deepest point in between the AB boundary, but the AB boundary didn't form until this third candle opened up here. So we'll watch that one and see. We'll watch that one and see. But I believe it'll be one of these 2 points.
So Ryan,
Yes.
so just as a general rule, whenever a fib forms, you basically kind of want to ignore, I guess, as far as the B boundary, you want to wait to see, you want to ignore the first 2 candles after it to make sure to determine what your C is. So as far as picking a point for C, whichever point that it right is between your range between your A and B, ignore the first 2 candles after B.
Yep, because that B boundary didn't form until after
Right.
it's in the close. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Any other questions on the Euro Swissy? No. Okay. Yep. All right. So that's the look there. If you want to play that sub fib move, that'll be your setup, right? But look, be aware that price could push down to that D extension and this daily support level before giving that reversal. Okay, just be aware. All right, next was a Euro JPY. Let's take a look. Euro JPY. This is playing out awesome. So overall, we've been watching this play, right? Overall, this is our capital fib here on the daily time frame, right? We got shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, and price is making its way to the downside, right? We saw price, right, took out this previous low, gave us an indication that we could be looking at potential crown pattern formation, right? So we mapped that out and look at it. Playing out beautifully, right? This is our right tip. The price is pushing to the downside, right? We didn't get any retracement off of that, which is okay with me, right? Price is pushing to the downside. So now we're back at this weekly support level, and we'll see what price does, okay? But that crown pattern is playing out beautifully, okay? So we're looking for a deeper retracement now, at least 2. All right, so 38.2 level there. So that's TP1. 61.8 is TP2. And then your A boundary is TP3. Okay. So we're looking for price to come down to at least this level before we potentially see a reaction. Okay. So if we drop down, well, let me remove this real quick. We'll look at the sub fibs on this, right? So this is the active AB boundary in this up retracement zone, right? We got a 61.8 retracement, and this is the D extension here. Okay, this is the D extension here. All right, that's the D extension, and price is making its way. Right, it took a little bit. And we'll see what happens here, right? If we get price to stall, but price is trying to make its way to this D extension, which is in line with that 23.6 retracement level. Okay, so if we drop down to the 1 hour time frame to see what's happening right now. Hold on. 1 second. All right, so if we drop down to the 1, right, let's take these off. We got that retracement that we talked about last week, right? Didn't push all the way up, but we got that retracement to the 61.8 level, which was TP2 for us, and then price fell off, right? Got that nice move back to the upside, short-term yen weakness, and then price fell. Okay, so price is making its way down to that D extension level. So this one is already in motion, right? Awesome if you played that, and if you caught this 61.8 move here, back to the downside, right? You're in some nice profit, right? On that move back down. Stochastic still in the sell zone, right? Still pushing down. So yeah, so that one's already in play. So if you're not in this one, I would wait wait until this D extension gets hit and you get a new fib to form, and then we can play it from there, right? But we're working to make our way down. Oops. Got going on here. Hold on. Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me see something here. That's the AB boundary running the fibs from the top to the bottom. So we did get a new AB boundary to form here, right? So if you want to play this retracement move, you can do that. Let's play it with caution, right? This price is still pushing to the downside, as we have, right, potentially short-term risk off scenario in play. Okay, then strong move to the downside. So play this with a little bit of caution. Play this with a little bit of caution. Okay, if you're looking to play the counter trend move, you got a shallow retracement and price is trying to push back down to the downside. If we get the break of this weekly support level, right, and we do get down to this 118, 127, we could see price just continue pushing to the downside. Right, this is a really, really strong level here, right? So if price breaks through the strong bearish candle, right, we could see price just continue and let's not get much of a retracement. Okay. So that's where we are there, right? Price is moving. We got that AB boundary, but I would watch that. If price does come back and just retest this level here, right, then we could see that retracement occur back to this, at least the inner trend line. Yeah, could see that. So those are two scenarios there. Watch this. If you get price to hold this level, then you can look for your buying opportunities. Yeah, but I would play it with caution. I will play the retracement with caution if you play it. Okay. Any questions on the euro yen? No? All right. All right. That's where we are. And we got some news coming up later this week too, right? So yeah, I watch that closely. Right. What we could see potentially. We could see this level hold and this retracement occur, right, through the day tomorrow. And then if that occurs and the news comes out, say positive for the dollar, right? And we could see the sell-off to the downside after that retracement. So just watch it closely. Got a couple scenarios to pay attention to, but if this level holds and you get a trend line break, then you can play it back to the upside. And then watch how price reacts to the news tomorrow and Thursday. Okay. So that's where you are with Euro JPY.
Hey, Ryan.
Ken, what's up?
Hey, nothing much. Could you drop that capital fib again? I'm not getting. I'm getting what you got before. It's not quite.
Yeah. So did you draw your fibs from? Because I believe we were kind of in between. I believe I dropped the fib like this last time.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, and that's okay, right? You're in between space here, right? But those fibs that I drew were from the top of it.
Oh,
right?
from further up. Okay.
Yeah. So they got taken out here, and then I dropped another one from here to here. And that gave us that move there. Right.
Gotcha.
But it still puts you in line, right? So if that D extension gets hit, that'll be an 80-20 scenario.
Okay.
Right. That'll be an 80-20 scenario here. So still puts you in a similar space, right? Just a different retracement level. I mean, extension level.
Got it. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Okay. Any other questions? No? All right, cool deal. It's the Euro Yen, and we had, since we're on the Euros, we'll take a look at Euro USD, and then we'll go to the Aussies. All right, so Euro USD. All right, so we've been tracking this one as well, right? We got a 38.2 retracement. Price didn't get to that D extension, and now we've been watching this move back to the downside. It's been an interesting move for quite some time. Been in a little bit of a range, right? This is our up retracement zone. Price moving to the downside. So if we look at our sub fibs coming from the top to the bottom, this is the active AB boundary, right? We got a 23.6 retracement twice. Price continues to reject off of the trend line and push down as we kind of move in this range, right? Can't break through this weekly support level. See, we got this nice reaction here. Stochastic is in the buy zone currently, right? And trying to push back up. Okay. So we're in a little bit of a range on the Euro USD from a daily perspective, right? Trying to see what's going to happen. Do we get price to push back up and have dollar weakness? Or do we get the dollar to continue to strengthen, right, and push to the downside? So stochastic in the buy zone on the daily time frame, right? We see decision, indecision. We could be getting a decision candle, right, to push a little bit higher. Okay, so if we go down to the 1 hour time frame and see what's happening, right? This is that full retracement move to the downside, right? And what we did here is a couple things, right? So we mapped our fibs from the top to the bottom off of this, right? We want to track the overall move. We got shallow retracement, 118, 127, and then price pushed higher, right? Price gave us a C, right? 628 retracement in line with the daily resistance, and now it's trying to make its way back to the downside. So what we did was we mapped our fibs from the C point, right? Because we got, when you're looking at the fibs, any high point, you can map your fibs, right? Previous on the Euro JPY, right? Ken dropped his fibs from that high to that low, and it still works. It still plays the same. They're just smaller waves within the larger picture, right? So what we did that in this scenario as well, right? We dropped our fibs from the C, right? This is our highest point in between this AB boundary, right? We dropped our fibs from here to here, and that gives us this look here, right? So we got AB boundary, we got a 38.2 retracement, but price could not break through this weekly support level to get to this D extension, okay? So now we have this pullback that's occurring, okay? Price is pulling back here. So what we want to watch is, does price give us a deeper retracement and push higher, or does it stall here at this B boundary level, right? Level of now resistance, which was support, right? Do we get price to come back up and stall and then continue to the downside to get that D extension? Or do we get a deeper retracement to the 618 level and then give us that push to the downside? Okay. So that's something to look for and watch, right? But the move is already in play to the upside if you took it, right? If you took this move to the upside, because you got a trend line break, right? You got to swing low. And this is one of those scenarios where you could get a deeper retracement, even though you got a 38.2 retracement already, right? Which happens periodically. So, oops. There we go. All right. So the inner trend line would have come like this. Oops, not like that, but like this. Right. that would have been your inner trend line. You got a break there, right? Prices up against this middle trend line now, could potentially push a little higher. So what you want to see is, do we get a higher price for the sell-off at this daily resistance level, right? Which looks to be a pretty strong level as you look back, right? That's what we could see. Could see price get there and then move back to the downside in favor of the dollar. Okay, so this one is already in play. If you're playing this retracement, right, wait for a high price, and I'll take a look at the DXY as well before we get off to see where the dollar index is in its movement, because that'll give us an indication as well on these dollar pairs on what we could anticipate. Okay, and we got stochastic trying to push up into the buy zone on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so we'll watch that one. And let's take a look at it real quick. We'll take a look at the DXY and then we'll take a look at the Aussies. All right, DXY. So what we're looking at here, we'll pop out to the daily time frame. Right. So on the DXY, we got a, let me take this out. So here we got a 38.2 retracement off of this up fib, and price is trying to push higher. It looks like it's stalling, right? Could get a stall and a push lower, right? We got stochastic in the sell zone on the daily time frame. Okay, so we could have some selling pressure come into the market here, right? So we could see this move back to the downside. That's this our capital fib in the down retracement zone, right? But as we've been tracking this, right, watching that dollar strength, but it's really been indecisive. Okay, really been indecisive. So we'll see what happens here. If we drop a fib from the top to the bottom, we've got a 618 retracement in the sub fib, right? So the question will be, do we see price push deeper, or do we get a retest of this zone that was broken, monthly level, and then a continuation back to the upside? Okay, so we could see retracement come to retest this level, which hasn't been retested yet, right? Retest this monthly support, and then give us that move to the upside. So if that's the case, if we get that retracement on the DXY, then our dollar pairs could be looking for those retracements as well, right? So we could potentially see this push higher, right? If the dollar continues to retrace, we could see this continue to push higher. All right, so we could see it push up to this 50-618 level and then give us that D extension move. Okay, so this will be something to watch. This will be something to watch for. Okay. Any questions on this euro dollar?
Hey, Ryan.
Benny, what's up, man?
What's going on? Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Shauna, because on Saturday she called this off of sub, like a type 2 type of fib, down 80 fib. She called the reversal. I think she took it from that C, like that C on that current fib. She dropped the fib on that to the downside.
Right.
Yep. She dropped it.
I didn't take it, brother.
Hey.
But I see that I didn't take it though.
Put in work. That's a beautiful call, though.
Yeah,
right?
It was nice.
That's a beautiful call.
It was nice because I was holding from the larger fib to just waiting for that D on the larger fib.
Yeah.
And she called it like, no, man, it might be another pullback on this. So awesome job.
Beautiful. Great work, Sean.
I started drawing my zones out like you, and I look at it different now. So I appreciate that.
Hey, no doubt. That's awesome. New people. When I tell you, man, the more you do it, the better you become, right? Being able to spot these moves, right? As the market is moving, okay? The pieces will come together. At the beginning, it's going to sound like gibberish, right? It's going to sound like gibberish, but watch the videos, implement, show up to the live sessions. It'll start to come together piece by piece by piece by piece by piece, right? It's important, man. It's important. Great work, Sean. Killing it. Killing it. It's beautiful. Okay. So that's where we are. That's where we are. So if you're looking at this sub fib, we're right at a TP1 level, right? Right at a TP1 level. Took it off of that trend line break, right? You have 30 pips. Okay. We'll see how far price pushes on this. Right. We had a daily stochastic in the buy zone, right? So could see it push a little higher, right? Give that pressure to the upside before we get another reversal. Okay. Anything else on the $0? All right. Aussie CAD. This is a fun one, another fun one. So we've been watching this one, right? We've been watching this move. Let me clean this up for a second so you guys can see what we're talking about. Okay. We've been watching this, right? And what we got, take that out, that one's done. What we got is a potential crown setup off of this daily time frame, right? We got our move to the upside. So this is our capital fib, AB boundary. We got a 618 retracement, right? Price took out the previous high, didn't get that D extension just quite, and then made its move back to the downside, right? That move took out that previous low, right? Low, that's our high, right? Took out that previous high there. Took out the previous low, like so, right? So we could be setting up for this move, okay? Could be setting up for that move. So, but what we've been tracking is these smaller waves here, okay? So that's a long-term potential projection on that. But Canadian dollar, the oil is trying to regain some of its losses, right? Because it's been taking a beating. So this will be an interesting one to watch as that occurs. So price pushing to the downside. This is our up retracement zone. Okay. This is an active AB boundary, shallow retracement, right? Didn't even get to the 23.6 level. Broke through the 127, didn't get to that D extension, stalled here at this daily support, and then we got to push to the upside, right? Now we're in this retracement, again, off of the smaller waves, okay? So this is our zone here. But if we take a sub fib, right, and just track the move to the upside, this is the AB boundary, 50% retracement, right? And now we want to see, is price going to push through this and continue up to the D extension, right? Which will put us almost in line with, right, that right tip of that crown, okay? Or do we get a deeper push, right? We got a stochastic in the buy zone on the daily time frame, okay? But price is pulling back. Price is pulling back. So potentially we could get a deeper retracement, right? Could potentially get a deeper retracement off of this before we get to move up. But we'll see. We're at a previous monthly level, right? So we'll see what happens there from a daily perspective. If we go down to the 1 hour time frame, right? This was a move to the downside that was played. Okay. Take that out. That and that. That trend line was broken. That trend line was broken. Okay. So now right? So now from a 1 hour time frame, right? We ran our fibs from this low point to the high, right? Tracking that move to the upside. We got fibs taken out to the downside. So we had a question. We had a question on this, and I'm gonna pause here for a second, right? So when you're working these fibs, right? When you're working these fibs in Smart Trader, and you get the fib to stop, it just stops. It doesn't continue, right? That's an indication that an A was taken out. Okay. So now what you do when that A is taken out is you change directions, right? When that A is taken out, that means price changed direction and took out your previous high. So then you start from the low and map them to the other in the other direction, right? And then you see here, right? These are just sub fibs as we're moving through this, right? And price gave us a high, pushed back down and took out the low, right? So then you just change directions and go back to the downside, okay? So that's how the smart fibs work on this. So if that fib doesn't fully run from top to bottom, that means a sub fib was taken out or a fib was taken out. So you want to see what direction price is moving, right? And continue your fibs in that direction, okay? So that was a question that we got over the weekend, okay? So Aussie CAD, this was that full move to the downside, right? From a 1 hour perspective, 50% retracement, and we got to bounce off this daily support, didn't get to that D extension level, okay? And so, right, we tracked the fibs from the bottom to the top, right? From the bottom to the top. And on this move to the downside, right, price got taken out. So just change your directions, right? We know we took out that A with price. So I'm going to delete these just to make things a little cleaner. All right, and these are just those sub fibs that we're tracking to see what price has going on. Okay, and we see now, right, price change direction again at this monthly level, stochastic in the buy zone, right? These are all of your sub fibs on the 1 hour time frame. So now we're back going to the top side. And we see if we zoom in on this, right? We got, right, we're sitting at a 628 retracement level. So if your bias is long, right, we could be looking at setup for price to reverse. We got stochastic still in the buy zone, okay? Trying to push up, but still in the buy zone. So you can play this with a little bit of caution, right? Drop your trend lines like so. Okay. All right, so now we need a trend line break. And if you want to take this down to the 15 minutes to get a cleaner view, right? To get a cleaner view, you can do that, right? So just copy that fib, link it down to the lower time frame. So now it looks like this, right? Now you get a little bit of a cleaner view and looking for price to reverse. Like so, okay? So now what you do is you wait. Now you wait, right? If you're a bull on this, right? If you got in this on the sell, beautiful, right? In profit, 2 TPs, right? Now you want to protect some of your profit on that, right? And potentially look for your exit, right? I'm bullish on this. I know the Aussie's been taking a beating, and oil is regaining strength, but I am looking for this particular pair to move to the upside long term. So I would look for potential entries on this. Okay. Both of these are commodity currencies, so it'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out long term, right? If we get that right tip of the crown. But move to the downside. So now we wait, right? Wait for a swing low, right? Price to settle wherever it chooses to settle, right? And then could potentially get, once that occurs, right, an inner trend line. I wouldn't draw it this aggressive. I would wait, right? But once price settles, right, then we'll look for that move back to the upside. Okay. And this is a key level for us to watch. If price continues to move to the downside in a strong bearish way, right, we get strong long candles to the downside and a breakout of that and a break of that low, then price will just continue, right? But our trend lines will help us determine that, right? Our trend lines will keep us honest and be able to watch, right? So we need a swing low and a trend line break, wherever that decides to be. If price stays within this AB boundary, right, it could push lower. If it stays within that AB boundary, right, and then gives us that reversal, now we can track that move, right? This would be your C to D move to the upside, right? So that's one to watch. That's one to watch. Will price settle in this retracement zone and give us a reversal? Okay. Will price settle and give us that reversal? Still pushing down, so we want to sit on our hands and wait. If you have time, can we take a look at Aussie USD? The dollar retraces. I see Aussie dollar potentially going long because it pulled back to a daily sub. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We got a few more to get through. I got about 15 minutes, so I'll get through as many as I can. I'll try to take a look at it before I gotta wake the kid up for school. So, right, price is still pushing down. So we'll see. We'll see if we get that reversal and push back to the upside. Okay. That's where we are. We'll watch it. We'll watch it and see what happens. We know long term, right? Long term on this move to the bottom, right? This is our active fib on the 1 hour time frame, right? From a larger wave perspective. But we'll see if this range plays out and we get a push back to the upside. Okay. All right, all right. Any questions on this Aussie cat? No? All right, all right, all right, all right. So we'll keep it rocking. Let's see. Dollar Swiss, pound dollar. All right, so we'll take a look at some dollar pairs. Beautiful. All right, so let's look at it real quick, Ebony. Aussie dollar, real quick. So we got capital fib here. This is the Aussie dollar capital fib. We got a 61.8 retracement right here. Then we got this reaction. All right, price pushed up. Price pushed up off that weekly support, right? Right in line with the 618 retracement. Now we're retesting a daily support level. Okay. Retesting a daily support level right here. So it'll be interesting to see, right? We got a nice rejection off of it. Stochastic in the buy zone. So we could see price push up. I see what you're looking at, Ebony. All right. But we got, let's see, we got a 618 retracement, right? So it'll be interesting to see if we move into kind of a range here, right? Price will push up and come back down, right? We'll see if that occurs. We'll see if that occurs. Okay. This is a daily level here. Place that in there as well. Okay. So from a daily perspective, this is where we are. All right. Do we get price to break through this daily support and continue to the downside, right? And get back to this weekly level? Or do we get that reversal? That'll be something to watch there. So let's go down to the 1 hour. From a 1 hour perspective, right? Track our fibs from the top to the bottom. Our A got taken out here, right? So we dropped those fibs from the bottom to the top, right? And our A got taken out again, right? So now we need to track them from the top to the bottom, right? So this, when the fibs get taken out like this is an indication for me that we could be moving into a range, right? A get taken out, A get taken out. Now it'll be interesting to see if price moves back to the top of this range and potentially takes out this A, okay? Kind of in line with what Ebony is saying, and price potentially going bullish, right? So since that A got taken out, we'll drop our fib from the top to the bottom, right? This is one of those scenarios, right? You start them, they stop. Start them, they stop. That means price pushed up, took out an A. But you see price continued, so you just find that high point, and there they go, right? This is our AB boundary. We're sitting at, right, we got a 38.2 retracement, right? Price rejected off of that trend line. And now it's pushing back down, okay? So, right, trying to get down to this buy zone. So we'll see, right? Price is pulling back right now. So if this daily level holds true, right? If the daily level holds, we could potentially see that price push higher. Right, but if we get a break of that level, right, something like that, right? And to Ebony's point, with the dollar potentially pulling back, right, we could see this occur, right? As long as the dollar move back to the upside, okay? But if we get a break of this daily level, okay, because we did get that 38.2 retracement, and we get a break of that daily level, you could see this, right? If then statements. If then statements. If price does this, then I will do this. Okay. So if price comes back and retests this daily support level, right, and that level holds, we can drop an inner trend line at that point from here. Whoops. We can drop an inner trend line, right, as price pushes down, right? So if price pushes down to this daily support level and this level holds, we get a swing low and a trend line break, right? That's a potential entry to the upside, right? If we get a swing low, trend line break at this daily support, entry to the upside, right? To a deeper retracement level. Okay. If then statements, removing the emotion, removing what we want to happen, and just watching the price action. Understanding where we are in the fib sequence, right? And just following the rules. Support, resistance, gain. Okay. If that comes down and doesn't break out, it's also potential for a harmonic pattern, right?
Hi, Ben. Hi, Ryan. Sorry.
Hey, who we got? Eunice, what's happening?
It's Eunice.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Good morning.
Morning.
So my question is, from that point, the lowest point next to the B, can you have a trend line such that you can short it to the 161.8?
Yeah, if that's in your rules, right? So this is one of the things you want to add into your rules, right? On the retracements, right? Which ones do you take, right? Do you take trades off of the 38.2 retracement? Do you take trades off the 50% retracement? Do you take trades off of the 618 retracement, right? We teach taking trades off of the deeper retracement levels, just because it's a better risk to reward setup, right? But you can write that into your rules, right? If price pulls back to a 38.2 level and I get a swing high and a trend line break, you can play that, right? You just have to be aware that you could get this scenario to occur, right? You could get price to go in your favor and then reverse and push deeper, right? But then it's just a trade management conversation at that point, right? Let the trade get into your favor, and then start to either move your stop loss into profit, or take some of your profit off the table, right? So you just want to prepare for that in the event that price pushes deeper, right? Where do you place your stop loss? If you place that stop loss in between this AB boundary, right, you get stopped out more frequently, right? Because we teach placing that stop above the A, right? So that if price does give you that deeper retracement, you still have the opportunity for price to move in your favor, right? Which is why we like to take those trades at the 618, 786, 86 levels in this fib sequence. But like I said, if you want to write that into your rules, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. Just make sure you manage your risk accordingly and understand that you can get stopped out more frequently if you place that stop within that AP boundary. Okay.
Understood, Brian. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Any other questions on this Aussie dollar play? No. All right. Cool deal. Let's take a look at what we had. We had dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss. All right. All right, this is a lot of mumbo jumbo, so I'm gonna clear it up a little bit so you guys can understand all of my gibberish here. These get mixed up because I do all of this on the same time frame, so forgive me. I'll make it make sense. All right, so dollar Swiss. Okay. We got our trend lines to the upside and our trend lines to the downside. We see that price broke. It's on a daily time frame, right? Price broke that downtrend line, and now it's coming back potentially to retest the zone. Okay, broke out a nice strong bullish candle to the upside. Bullish candle to the upside. Now we're getting this retracement, right? Potentially coming back. We talked about these strong engulfing candles, right? Price liking to take back a portion of that, right? Coming back to potentially retest previous zones of consolidation, right? So we got price pulling back, potentially retest this area, right? And then we'll see how it goes from there. But a nice strong breakout there. So we got, this is our capital fib, right? AB boundary. We got a 8-6 retracement. Okay, so long term, price is looking to track and get back to at least at least this level. Okay, at least this level. Right, but we got the waves in between. So what we did was, right, we got this move back to the downside, and then price started moving in that direction. So we took that C point, right? This is the C, dropped the fib on it. It's on the daily time frame. So this is the AB boundary. We got a 61.8 retracement, right? Price again trying to make its way to the D extension, which is right in line with the capital fib extension level. Okay, so that's our confluence there from a daily perspective. Now we're just getting this back and forth movement, right, with price as it's trying to make its way. So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, I'm going to remove these fibs just so that it doesn't get as cluttered as it was. And I will highlight this area. Okay, take that out too. So that's our low point. So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, like so. Right, and just for sake of example, we're going to track our fibs from this low point. Right, fibs got taken out there. So if we're dropping from the top, that's our high. They got taken out again back to the upside. Right, so we start at the low. They got taken out again from the high down. Got taken out again. So we find the low, which was right here. Bang, right? So this is our active fib on the 1 hour time frame. And look what we got. Look what we got. Right? Beautiful 80-20 setup. Beautiful 80-20 setup. AB boundary, shallow retracement, 118-127. Price stalled. And now it's just falling off a cliff. Right? Coming back to retest these levels. Okay. So if we go back to this daily time frame, I want to see something here, right? talked about that zone that could be coming back to retest. So let's highlight this zone here. The zone right here. All right. Consolidation in this area overall, right? That was that sideways movement, right? Bullish candle. So we go back to the one. You see where that falls on the 1 hour time frame, right in our sweet spot. Right. So if we get price to continue this move to the downside, break through that. Give us something like this. All right. Could potentially go in line with that retracement on the dollar. Okay. If we get something like that, that puts us in a position for potential reversal back to the upside. All right. So this is a dollar Swiss, right? Price is pushing to the downside. Okay. If you want to play sub fibs on this, you can. Remember, they're smaller waves, right? So play it with a little bit of caution. Okay. But AB boundary, shallow retracement, right? Price is trying to push down to this D extension level, which is right in line with that trend line. Okay. So we'd have to see how it plays, right? Does it push through that and just come all the way down to the zone? Or do we get the extension hit? New AB boundary forms. We could get that, all right? Come back to retest that immediately, or we could get a shallow retracement, push down into the zone, 80-20 play, sweet spot, right? 618, 786 level. Okay. Could see that. All right. And then to move back to the upside. Okay. So that'll be one to watch. Wait for that D extension to get hit. New AB boundary to form. Okay. New AB boundary to form. And then you can play it from there. Okay. And you can play it from there. But remember, that Swiss franc has been strong over the past couple of days. Right? Been strong over the last couple of days. So play it with caution, right? Drop your trend lines. Wait for your confirmations. Wait for your confirmations. Okay. Any questions on this one? No. All right, cool deal. Look at one other pair and then I gotta hop off. Look at the dollar, pound dollar, right? So this one we've been tracking. Benny posted this in the Telegram group as well, right? But tracking has moved to the downside. We got a 38.2 retracement and price has just been moving in this range, right? Push down off the trend line, right? Coming back down to this weekly support level. So now we're looking to see, right? Do we get a nice pullback in confluence with that DXY retracement, right? Do we get this pullback to occur? Okay. Before a continuation down to this D extension level, right? So we drop down to the one, right? This is the move. Take that out. All right. So Benny posted this in the Telegram, TP1, TP2, TP3. AB boundary price has just been pushing to the downside, right? Didn't quite get to the D extension there, but now we're getting this move back to the upside. Stochastic is in the sell zone, so we could get another push down, but right, price is trying to make its way back up to these higher levels. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, right? If you're not already in this, and you agree with the analysis, the 80-20 play, right? Wait for a low price, right? Wait for stochastic to get back into the buy zone, and then look for your entry to the upside, like so. Okay. That is the pound dollar. That's the pound dollar. All right, so look for that retracement. Look for that retracement to occur. 80-20 play. Any questions on anything that we covered today? Didn't get to everything. Didn't get to the dollar CAD, but all right, potentially look for that one to be an interesting one to watch. But Benny, if you can cover that one this evening, that'd be awesome, bro. Ben, you got anything for the team before we hop off, man?
No, sir. Just I could definitely cover that this evening. Just hey, FOMC tomorrow. You're seeing a lot of selling off in the stock market, right? Risk off. And a lot of it's just surrounding this FOMC meeting. They're looking for some clarity. It amazes me how the market is reacting, being that he's been saying the same thing consistently, Chairman Powell. So we'll see tomorrow if he gives them any type of further guidance and detailed particulars in regarding to the tapering schedule as far as the time frame and the pace in which they're looking to do it. But I mean, there's nothing fundamentally that's changed since the last time he spoke. There's nothing. Employment numbers, job creation, inflation, right? Inflation numbers, missed what everybody was expecting. So it seemed like inflation kind of fell back into balance, just like you said. He felt like it was transitory. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But if you're looking at the markets and you're wondering why some things are occurring, it's mainly surrounding that, right? With some caution. I know there's a lot of things going on with China too, around the world, but just be cautious in the market, and then we should see what happens as far as price action once we get some statements out of the FOMC meeting tomorrow. So just something to be aware of. But that's what the world is waiting on. So the U.S. Fed leads the way when it comes to monetary policy, and everybody else tends to kind of follow along somewhat. So that's it. I'll see everybody tonight at 9:00. Cool
deal. All right, everybody. Benny's Asian session tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Definitely hop in and join us. Catch some more knowledge, some more information about the markets and what's happening throughout the day. You guys have a phenomenal day. New people, dive into those videos, man. Dive into those videos. Have an awesome day. We'll catch you guys tonight.